one important point before we move on, John Paul, I'm sure we talked about this morning, is that these guys, for everybody watching this, the UFC fighters in the UFC, they get paid, whatever, that's a different conversation, but they don't get paid until they actually fight. So what a lot of people don't realize is Khalid, he didn't get half of his money to go to Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Then he gets the other half when he fights. No, he gets paid, and then if he wins, he gets a bonus, or maybe he gets doubled. Everybody's contracts are different. So for people saying like, oh, he just got money, obviously you don't understand how the sport works. They don't just get paid.
Are people saying that?
We get so many random comments because I think our podcast mixes with our surf, skate, and moto one.
Yep.
So people just see clips and they just comment.
Sure.
The MMA fans most of the time understand it. Yeah. But for anybody who doesn't understand the UFC, they only get paid after they fight, and then they get a win bonus, or they get maybe a fight of the night bonus.
Yeah, we get paid to show up.
Yeah.
Or most contracts, you get paid to show up to make it to the fight, and then if you win, you get the second half of your purse.
Got it. Or maybe a fight of the night bonus or something.
Right.
So it's not like Khalil wanted to go out there and pull out. He obviously gets paid a lot of money. Same with his coach, John Wood, makes money off of him. So when people talk about, oh, there was agendas, or oh, he got money just to not fight, it's like, that's just not the way the UFC works. So,
and sadly, that is why sometimes fighters will risk it.
Yeah.
Because they want that payday. And they believe in themselves.
Yeah.
They're not throwing themselves out there as sacrificial lambs, but it's because they've done 8 weeks of training camp, 8 weeks of sacrifice, missed birthdays, didn't go to this event, blah, 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 whatever it is. Yeah. Didn't go on the vacation, etc., etc. Yeah. And they're like, shit.
They're not getting paid.
I've tweaked my knee. Yeah. I can still beat this guy. And I get paid. Yeah. Because I want to get paid.
Or, hey, I only have one eye, but I'm going to get paid.
Yeah,
I've watched you do it your career. Those are big paydays people don't want to miss.
But that was the hardest thing, like with going through the whole eye thing. I was talking about this yesterday to my wife, remembering the stress of all that, because you go through an entire training camp for 8 weeks, and you got to see a doctor independently at every city you go to. And that doctor, after the weigh-ins, after you make weights, they just come do a quick medical. But they look at your eyes.
Yeah,
and
they do.
They're always like, can you see out of that eye? And I'm like, yeah, because I didn't have this. I'm like, yeah, sure. And
you didn't have the
I didn't have the prosthetic then.
So what did you have?
I just had the fucking,
Okay.
I had that.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't as bad as that. Now over time, it's really it's much more cloudy.
Does that hurt to put in
Nah, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
But, they'd be like, because I'd have the papers saying that I was good.
You're like Thor.
That's another story. But
no, it makes sense. So,
but he'd be but you could have your fight pulled away every time. So the most stressful part of it was getting to the cage. The actual fight, I was like, fucking hell, let's go. No, I'm fighting and I'm getting paid. It's great.
No, I just thought it would be cool to kind of clarify that.
I got a quick story for you though about pulling out. I only ever pulled out of one fight, and it was against Robert Whittaker, and it was because we were fighting in Perth. And obviously Whittaker's a legend. I would have loved to have fought that guy. It wasn't this one actually. It was before we were champs, I think. Anyway, it was the first fight they'd done in Perth, Australia. So it was a new commission. A new commission. So we got an email saying that when we get there, all fighters have to undergo strict medical testing. That will include retina scans, this, that, and all the others.
Oh, no.
And my wife was making dinner. I'm sitting on the couch. I read the email and I just go, shit. She's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, I'm done. I'm screwed because I'm going to fly out to Australia. They're going to look at my eye. And they're going to go, this guy can't fight. What are you talking about? So I thought, shit, I got to pull out. I thought, right, what do I do? Well, I remember when George St. Pierre, I tore my PCL. And when I got the MRI, you could see where GSP had landed a good leg kick on me. When you got a nice little bruise on your leg as well. I'm like, yeah, that was where GSP kicked me. So I thought, right, I'll get my jiu-jitsu coach to put a shin pad on and just kick me in the ribs like 100 times. And then just say I've done my ribs. And when I go for the MRI, it'll show the bruising. But I didn't need to, because then like a day later, my elbow locked up and I couldn't move my elbow. And I had a bunch of loose cartilage and stuff. So I legit had to have surgery and have those taken out. But I was going to pull out anyway, somehow, because I couldn't do that fight. Anyway, there you go.
That's actually insane, because a lot of people were talking about this moment with you and Robert Whittaker where
I don't know what I was doing there.
You walked in with your belt and then you threw your belt in the middle of the cage.
Yeah, let me just give you my logic at that time because it looked
this
weird.
is a very viral video. You come in the blue suit. You look like James Bond from the UK. You try to steal the guy's mic.
I look like I've had a few beers the night before. I like Robert. Robert's the absolute man, right? Yeah. And then my plan was to go in and play, because he just fought Yoel Romero in an absolute war. My plan was to just go like, Rob, unbelievable fight. Congratulations, it'll be an honor to share the cage. I walk in, he's all ripped, he's just finished a fight, he's got a bit of blood dripping down his face, and he like kind of half snarled at me, and I'm like, fuck this guy. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I threw the belt on the ground, because at this point, you've got a belt, I've got a belt. No one's the champ right now. Yeah. I'll see you in the octagon in a couple of months, and we'll settle it like that.
And that was your way of cutting up promos back then?
I don't know what it. Yeah.
I think it's like a fight. You have a game plan before you step into the cage, and then you walk in there and shit hits the fan.
Well, during the fight as well, because I got a lot of threats from Cubans, because it was Yoel Romero and Whittaker, and I was sitting cage side because they were going to take me in like that. And Yoel Romero, in between rounds, he's talking shit to me because I'm right by his corner. He's leaning through the fence. He's
barking at you,
pussy boy.
While he's fighting Robert Whittaker.
And anyway, I don't know where it came from. Someone that worked at Fox Sports at the time handed me, it was a paper Cuban flag. I don't know where they got it from. And I hold the flag up to him and I rip up the Cuban flag, right? Gosh. And then throw it at him. I don't know. It was just a bit of trash talk.
It was probably a Cuban guy giving you the flag.
Well, Yoel Romero's Cuban. So like there's a few Cubans in the building. Yeah. Anyway, I got a ton of DMs and Dana White was like, bro, do not go to Miami. You will get stabbed.